Hey there, this is Katherine Cartwright. Welcome to day 2 of the Advent calendar from Diamond Press. Today I received 4 sheets of rhinestones, gemstones. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm pulling out one of my favorite sets from the last year. Actually going to combine a couple of sets from Diamond Press. And so I'm going to work with this to create a card, and then I'm going to add some of my gemstones on there. So I'm using Signed, Sealed, Delivered, which was one of my very, very favorite sets in the last year from Diamond Press. And then also there's a pumpkin set that came out recently. I think it's my very favorite pumpkin or something like that. I'll link it in the description. I think it's still available. That's the one that has the border dies, the shape dies, and I'll point those out when we finish the card. But I'm going to work on putting this together, and then I'll add some gemstones. So I hope you're enjoying getting ready for the holidays. It's getting closer and closer to the holidays. I don't know where 2025 has gone, but it's gone very quickly. And I did see that the Grand Marquis, I'm filming in October, so I'm a little bit ahead of the holidays to start. But I know that the Grand Marquis was back in stock for a short period of time. I've really been enjoying mine. So that's the machine that I'm using. If you are not familiar with it, the silver, I should say, Grand Marquis. Okay, so I have die cut some items that I want to use to create this card. I am doing pink and green. I knew that I wanted to use this stamp set, and I just really felt like pink and green would be so pretty today. That was just what I was feeling. So I decided to pull out some green paper to use on the stems that are included in the set, and then pink for my background. So the 2 little funny shaped pieces, those are the Signed, Sealed, Delivered. Those are for the wax seal, I should say, in the Signed, Sealed, Delivered kit. And you have to cut 2 of those, and then I will glue them together. But I love that this set has the faux wax seal look. So anyway, I haven't used it in a while, and I wanted to use it again because, again, it's been one of my favorites. All right, so I'm just going to take a little bit of adhesive here. I'm just using some liquid adhesive, and I'm going to glue these together. So this looks like twine that you have wrapped around your card or your project, which is very fun. It's a pretty cool die, and that they were able to figure out how to cut this very, very fine line to look like twine. So super cute. And then here are those other 2 dies that I mentioned. So I love the little border, I guess it is. And I'll glue that down in a second, but I got to work on my wax seal. So there are 3 dies in this set. There's a small set and a larger set. And so you die cut the 3 of them, and then you can layer them together. Honestly, the possibilities are really endless, and that's one of the things I really liked it. My daughter loves to make wax seals, the real thing, and so when I got this set, I was so excited because I knew that I sent her a card right away at college because I know she loves to make her own wax seals, but you don't have the bulk that you would normally for a card, so it's just really fun. Okay, so I've got the top, which is kind of the representing the wax, and you could do a different color of wax if you wanted to. I just kind of kept mine all in this yellow tone. And then there's the center that comes out that you could change to another color, and you can stamp it as well. There's a huge stamp set you'll see in just a second that you can use. And it just adds this kind of 3D dimension by adding these layers on there. So just a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this. Okay, so I'm trying to line this up. There is a right way to get it to go. And once I find that, then I can add some adhesive on here, and I have my wax seal. And then the rest is up to you. You can decide what to put in there. And there's some little butterflies in there. There's a little male picture of a little letter that's so cute. And just a lot of fun. So if you pick this up when it was available, I don't think this is for sale anymore because it's been in the last year. And I'm going to just use the word hi. I thought about putting you can see there's a butterfly, there's a bee, a lot of cute little things here that you could put inside this wax seal. Okay, so I'm just stamping this with some of the Diamond Press black ink, And then now I can put this together. You could pop this up with some foam if you wanted to, but I'm going to keep this really flat for mailing. But you can always add some foam for some dimension. But you can see how cool is that? It's really, really fun. All right, so now I'm going to let that dry, and then I can work on putting the base of my card together. This is a very fine die cut. I probably, if I had it to do again, I would have used an adhesive sheet just because it's very, very fine. And I don't know if I've actually used this part or not because it's a relatively new set, but I probably should have used some dry adhesive, or an adhesive sheet would have been a good choice. But I'm going to make it work. So I've got a little bit, y'all know I'm an over gluer, and so I've got a lot of glue everywhere, and I should have probably used a different adhesive, but I'm going to make it work. Sometimes that just happens, especially when I mostly use liquid adhesive. I tend to not change over to anything else. All right, so I'm going to let that dry, and now I want to do some stamping. So this stamp set had a bunch of fun elements that I was mentioning, these little sweet little things like the bee. There's also some foliage, and since I decided on a pink theme today, I'm sticking with it, and I have stamped my images in pink, okay? And then I can lay some of this greenery on top. Just really, really fun. So I get to stamp and die cut in this one. All right, so let me move on to the next thing. I've got the greenery here, and I'm just trying to figure out how I want to lay this on here. I'm going to kind of build a little bundle, a little bouquet here, and you could add a lot more if you wanted to. You could also, pop some of this up with foam if you wanted more dimension, but again, I'm just kind of keeping this flat for mailing. All right, and I will lay this on here. Don't want to cover up my butterfly too much, and want to see a little bit of that pink foliage peeking out in the back of my little bouquet here. And again, just some more detail work on these beautiful fine die cuts. I don't know how Diamond Press designs and produces things like this that actually work, because they're so delicate and they're so beautiful and they cut just amazing. So kudos to them for excellent design work in creating their die cuts. All right, and now I can add my wax seal here. I'm just going to start with, I'm going to glue this center part down so I have kind of my jumping off point, and then I can wrap this around. And it's very fine, and I didn't, as soon as I started doing this, I thought, this is probably not going to lay super flat because the edges are sort of scalloped, but I'm going to make it work, and I will add some glue here and pull this side down, and then I'm going to have to add a little bit more adhesive on the back of that just to make sure. I want to make sure that my twine strings, is what I'm going to call them, are going to stick to the card and not come loose. So I'm just kind of manipulating the paper a little bit. I want to get this tab glued down, and then I can come back and deal with the little kind of loose strings a little bit. All right, so I'm loving how this is coming together, and I can't wait to use my gemstones from day one. And here I'm going to pull it out. I'm trying to decide on the colors. There are two shades of pink. One's a little lighter, one's a little darker, and I'm just picking out which one I want to use. And there's some little stars on there which are really cute. I'm going to take one of my hearts, and I'm going to just kind of pop it in this corner next to the high. And then I want to add a few more gemstones close around my my bouquet. Okay, and I'm going to add those in and make a little trio. Nature likes odd numbers, and so I'm just going to keep the little odd number of grouping of these gemstones. And now I'm ready to adhere this down, and my glue is being a little difficult today. It's super humid where I am, and so it was not wanting to come out. Now I'm going to add an additional piece of red line tape on here on each of these sides, because I just wanted to be, you could use, some regular adhesive tape, whatever you have, but I'm just going to use this to try and pull these strings in and to make sure that they're not coming loose, because I wanted them tight around my card. So I'm going to peel off that, and then I can add this to I did the same color green cardstock, the light one, for my next layer, and then I'm going to add this to a yellow card base to kind of pull all of my colors together. And we're moving into fall, and so this is a very springy card, and so I wanted to do something definitely more spring inspired, brighter colors, and added those beautiful little gemstones. So that is today's make using the beautiful little gemstones from Diamond Press in the Advent calendar. Be sure to check back and see what I have next time. Thanks so much. Happy crafting and have a great day.